Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for this episode 15 on Calmsden Farm with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, this is being recorded on the heels of the last episode in game time, but not in real time. That episode is actually recorded, the last one I posted about 2.5 months ago. Um, we were moving. That was not a surprise. I had recorded that episode and was going to post it the day before we moved, and then the internet company decided to shut our internet off a day early on me, so I couldn't get it posted. We're just moving across town, um, a town of 800 people. That's not very far, and I was a bit surprised though when I found out that they weren't going to get my internet hooked up for a little over 2 weeks. So just got that hooked up and everything kind of organized. And I was doing a little work in my new office here, and I dropped my TV that I use for my PS5. So that cost another week and a half to delay to get a new TV. By that time, it had been a little bit around a month, I would say. And then during that time, I've been thinking what I might do for my next Let's Play after Calmsden, and I came up with an idea that I hope you guys will like. I'm pretty excited about it, but I needed to make some room on my PS5 and get some things cleaned up. Um, I had a bunch of other kind of side projects going on, so I decided to dig in and get those done because it had been so long since we've been on here anyways, and get them out of the way. So I've actually started setting up for the replacement Let's Play after we're done here, but more on that later. Anyway, so, as you saw, I did complete the sugar beet harvest. That went on into the evening. I showed you how much sugar beet we had. It easily fit into our silo there, our pig production, so that was pretty cool. I did take 10,000 liters off and put it up in our market garden production so we can make cake, and I turned the cake production on because that was the last product we needed. Um, I also did some calculations, and I think we're only going to need about 72 to 75,000 liters of sugar beet to keep the biogas plant up and running. So we have piles of sugar beet on that one field. So that's pretty cool. Um, also, uh, the you saw that the contracts were completed. I used a worker and got that done, and as well got the spraying and for fertilizer and weeds on our barley field done. So it was a pretty productive day on the farm. So we're going to start out this morning by doing some deliveries. And as well, we have 21,000 liters of our fertilizer that we've made from our slurry from our cows and digestate. And I think we're going to sell that. We could use a little bit more in our distributor, but the next batch we'll throw it up there. That's another piece of news. I got the distributor filled up and working properly. So that took a little time, I must say. But I've got everything filled with water. Everything is filled with fertilizer. So it's just distributing those products on as it should. It could use a few more seeds. The gardens are not full of seeds, so it's out of seeds, but we've been making some, so that's part of our deliveries. We'll take some seed up there. Yeah, I think that brings us pretty much up to date. So I'm going to start the day by getting these deliveries done up at the market garden, sell that fertilizer. I've got to haul some digestate, as I said in the last episode, and silage to the BGA, so I'll get that done. As far as field work today, we need to get our corn in. And for that we need a corn header. That's the reason for selling the fertilizer on, so we have enough money to buy a corn header so we can get that done. And then we need to do some grass work as well, and which is a good thing because our farm production is out of grass, so we're not making any hay or silage right at the moment. but we do have some TMR mixed up, so we're okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll take care of this deliveries, and then we will catch up with you when it's time to buy the corn header. So we'll talk to you in a little bit. Well, we're down here at our cornfield with all our equipment. I brought the trailer down with the truck as well, so to minimize the number of trips we need to make. Now, I had recorded a little section talking about this header when I bought it, but unfortunately, I must have had my mic muted and didn't realize there was no audio, so we'll go over that again here down at the field. But I did sell off our fertilizer, as I said it would, and all our pallets, and we were up to about 180,000 before we bought this header. But I wanted to talk a little bit about why I selected that particular header. If we look at these corn headers, most of them run at 10 kilometers an hour until we get down to some modded John Deere ones here that run a little faster. And then we have the Draco one. It runs at 12 kilometers an hour. And if you do the math on that, it's equivalent to about an 11 meter head running at 10. The only thing you need to be aware of, it does take 380 horsepower, so you need a kind of a medium-sized harvester for it. But the reason that I like it and use it quite a bit is because it has stalk stompers that you can activate, so it mulches at the same time. So you're getting two jobs done in one. So it's pretty efficient. So that's the reason I go with this one whenever I have a large enough harvester for it. I had to, as you can see, cut my way into this field here because there was no room for our vehicles. So it means I'm heading the wrong way around, but I'll just go up to the end here. And turn around and come back and get going the right direction for unload. It's a little tricky to do that, especially first round in cab. This header works really good on this particular harvester. I think this harvester is like 440 horsepower or somewhere in that neighborhood, if I recall. No, apparently I didn't fill it with fuel the last time I used it. So I redid the calculations regarding sugar beet and confirmed that we only need actually 7,000 liters a year to make enough sugar to produce cakes year-round, and the BGA only takes 72,000 liters, so we got more than enough sugar beets out of that field to last us the year. So I was thinking what I might do, because I had mentioned about buying, I think it was field 20, the one right below it, and putting it together and doing massive sugar beet. I don't think we'll do that. I think what I might do is put sugar beet in this field here, because it's just slightly smaller than the one we had beet in before. And then when I combine those two fields, I can put in corn or whatever I want, but I don't need that much sugar beet. And it took a good portion of the day just to do that harvest, so I don't think I want to get embroiled in a 2-day sugar beet harvest. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Now, if you take a look, and we go over here to mulched and look at field 23. I'm going to turn plowing off here. You can see that that strip we did is already mulched. So when it comes to field prep, something we don't need to do. So pretty handy, I think. So even if you have the power to run the larger John Deere headers that run a little faster, I personally think you're still better off to use this one because you save that whole mulching step. Just my opinion anyway. That darn harvester post is in just the wrong spot actually for this width of header. For looking inside work. Birds are certainly making a racket down here this morning. Oops, nicked the trailer there a little bit. I think we'll unload here and then we'll carry on around and complete the headlands. Be curious to see with realistic trailer limits if this truck will hold a full load of corn. I know a lot of the in-game trailers won't even come close to holding a full load. After this, we need to get some grass work done. I'm going to record the number of, or the liters of hay. Oh, that's tough to see with that tree there. That I get off each of the fields. And then at least one I'm actually going to plow out and then reseed and see with precision farming if plowing makes any difference to yield, because all of our grass fields are saying they need plowing, and I've never tested it in FS22. I know in FS19 it made no difference, but thought I'd do a test here. So we'll plow one of those out. So that'll be the job I get on to after this. We do need to chop up some sugar beets as well and throw it into the BGA. I was looking at, there's the auger wagons you can load in and it chops them on the way out. They're pretty pricey, so what I was thinking I might do is I've got some more digestating being dried down to fertilizer. I may wait till tomorrow when that gets dried down, and we should have enough money then we can buy one without taking out our loan. So I'm thinking that's what I might do, because one day delay isn't going to make that big a difference. I guess I could always go into Mod Hub 2 and see if there's something, a cheaper alternative. I may do that as well. But with this corn and our sugar beets, we should be able to make pig food in our production. To feed our no pigs we have. But no, I'm going to buy some pigs in here right away. I'm just was trying not to increase the loan anymore if I don't have to. So we're going to get some pigs in here shortly. Well, I'll carry on with this corn harvest, and I will let you know what we end up for a yield when we're done. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. All right, so we've got all the corn off of the field. Um, I thought I'd show you how this header folds up in case you haven't seen it. I'm sure most of you have, but just in case you haven't, folds up nice and neat for transport so we don't need a header trailer. Which a lot of the corn headers do that. Most do, I think, but there are some that don't. Get our harvester folded up here. I'm just going to move it out of the way. Now we did fill up the truck. It looks pretty full, but I haven't looked to see how much is in there. See if it has its full 49,500. I guess we have to disconnect it to. Yep, or 49,000. So yeah, 100%. So that's nice if you're using that realistic trailer uh, setting. It's nice to know that this truck will hold its full capacity in corn. Oh, I did have the right cover. There we go. Oh, why is it not going? Ah, there. Now we got the covers closed. Got that figured out. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to throw this all into our pig food factory, for lack of a better word, because like I said, it does act like a silo, so we can get it back out of there if we have to. But we could put it in our one of our other silos that we have access to. But that's where I'm going to stick it for now. Um, then I'm going to haul in the other products we need. We'll take a look at the recipe, and we'll get some pig food on the go. And I think it only makes sense, things will have pig food production underway, that we go and get some pigs. So I will meet you back up at the pig food factory. So we're down here at our pig food production, and what I've done is I've hauled in all the other constituent parts that we need. So if we take a look at the recipe, this is the one we're going to do here, is 450 corn, 250 barley, 200 canola, and 100 sugar beets. You can see we have uh, the most sugar beets of any of those products, but we have more barley and canola in our silo. I just brought one truckload down. So we can go ahead and turn that on, and that will get our pig food storing for now. It does appear that it's going to produce at a pretty good clip. We've got 12 liters already. I'm not sure how much pig food we're going to need exactly, but I certainly think we'll be able to sell off some of those sugar beets come, I think it's December and January the best price is, but we'll take a look what we have for pig food and pigs at that time, and we'll make that decision then. So for the rest of the day here, I was going to go and get some pigs potentially today, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up those grass fields that we have and get that grass work done. And then tomorrow we'll look after, in tomorrow game day obviously, we'll look after the sugar beet cut and getting some pigs hauled in. And that will give us some more money to use at that time. Oh, and speaking of sugar beet cut, I did go on and search on the internet, so to speak, and found something a little more cost effective than those auger wagons. It is still a trailer, but it's not quite as pricey, about half the price. So we'll deal with all of that tomorrow. So we'll call it a wrap for today's farm day for you guys. I'll go get that grass work done, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Hi guys. Well, as you can see, I'm back here at the farm. I did complete all that grass work. It's relatively early in the morning. You'll notice if we look up, there's now stars in the sky. I think that was one of the additions from the update, so that's pretty cool. Oh, someone's ballooning in the dark. I don't know how safe that actually is. I did make a couple decisions on some things while I was busy doing that grass work. I've said before, as I'm driving around these fields, I start to think, and that can mean trouble. What I did is I put all our grass into here. I got thinking that we really don't need two silage production facilities. So the one at the BGA, I'm just going to let run empty, and then I will get rid of it, and we'll just use this one. There's really not much difference because well, now I'll be driving the truck rather than the trailer, but I would drive the empty truck down there, load up at the BGA, dump it into the uh, into the BGA down there at the complex and drive the empty truck back. No difference in me coming here, filling up with silage, driving down with a full truck, and driving back with an empty truck. So there's no efficiency savings or anything. Only with way we'd save is I left the truck down there, but I don't want to do that because we use it for other things as well. So I decided that. I also decided what I'm going to do with the grass test. If we look at the map here, we're in precision farming. We can see that field 4, we know that's an actual field. It has field grass in it. Um, these areas here are not. They're part of the verges. So we've mowed the grass on that area and this area here and the secret field. Now, if we go up and look, someone has not mulched any of those areas. I guess that someone would be me. And I didn't even mulch this one. I don't know if I must have just forgot, and I don't know if I tried to mulch these and I couldn't. But in any event, they're not mulched. But I did want to do a plow test. If we look, now we go over here, oops, and turn on plowing, we'll see all of those fields or areas need to be plowed. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to mulch field 4. I'm going to plow it. There, we have done everything within precision farming that affects the yield. The only thing that we haven't done is the weed spot spraying, and that just affects the environmental score. I mean, if we had weeds in the field, it would affect the yield, but we had no weeds. And of course, the cultivating. So I'm going to do everything to that field that needs to be done for precision farming, and I'm going to plow it out and reseed it. And that's the first field I'm going to do. I've recorded all the yields, so that'll tell us if plowing does make any difference. And that's really the question I wanted to answer. With these areas here, I'm going to tackle them. I'm going to just plow them out, turn them into fields, scan them. You see we have no precision data information on them. Get them scanned and do everything because the grass is spotchy in there at best. There's bare spots, there's bushes. No doubt plowing it out is going to improve our yield. And I'll work on those fields in November. And I'll do one entire field, make sure we get it done. And then the next, because we cannot seed grass in December. So something is better than nothing. So I don't want to, jeopardize getting our first cutoff in the spring. And I probably will end up doing this field. Like I said, I have all the bale counts, but we got a fair number of bales off of there. So that's going to be my lowest priority on that. So that's what I'm going to start working on tomorrow is for field work. Tomorrow will be the first day of November, so I've got 2 days to get as much of that done as I can. I also want to tomorrow put the pigs in here. So that means in the morning I am going to scrape the cupboards bare, sell everything I can think of to sell that we can get decent money on. I'm not going to sell stuff that we're going to take a big hit on, to raise as much capital as I can, because I likely will have to increase the loan a little bit, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it's as small amount as possible. And we're going to get our pigs in, and if at all possible, I would like to add like 5 or 10 cows as well, because they're barely keeping up with milk production for our market garden area. So that's the plan. So, but for today, I think we'll call this an episode just because it's a good spot to stop. And we'll start a new one tomorrow morning, a new episode. I think this will end up being a slightly shorter episode, but hey, that'll make up for the last one. It was slightly longer. So we'll call it a day there on the farm. So if you're still with me, I want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this entertaining or informative in any way, I encourage you to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, you can hit that notification bell. But for this episode, this is Farmer Murphy signing off. Until next time.